I like to record, creating the show right now. So we're creating the show. The first part is going to be pretty light, 7 or 8 minutes. I want to take lead on this about traditional real estate. This is the first real estate show. And eventually, I thought, Jonathan, too, we'll talk about this offline, but if we do 3 of these, we could launch 3 on a separate RSS feed for you all at once. And that's the best way to start an RSS feed. And then you have 2 RSS feeds. I'm getting some traction off of that, too, when we have 2 different feeds, because I do think they bounce off each other. So in the first 7 minutes, general real estate, what's happening in the industry. We're in the wintertime right now. So what should we be doing? Then we go into the 4 tools. You gave me the 4 tools. I'm looking for them right now.
I'll put them in chat.
Oh, yeah, to get on the right side?
Yeah, they're in chat.
Okay. Are they? It's bold leads, curator, of course. The other thing, too, I'd like you to take a real quick look at this Jack Cole. Let me put the link in there and then go to his website. He's the top producer. So what is this guy doing to be the top producer of Chase? My wife's going to meet with him. I'll try to get him on the show, too. At least one of my shows, my timeline shows. He's the top producer. And get him and Karen on. So look at his site. That's his site. If you go to his website.
That is a trap.
And that's his website. He's using that company, which is, Karen told me the name of the company. Oh, Real Estate Pro Systems. You ever hear of them?
Real Estate Pro Systems. I have heard of them.
That's what Jack Cole is using. I know, right?
No one can read that.
That's a truckie, isn't it? Right there. I'm trying to think where that picture is in the front of this page.
Have you guys ever heard of this thing? I just heard about this last night on it's called Geek Lab or something like that. It was another blab. It's called WordLens.
I think I have.
This thing is a trip. I just downloaded onto my iPhone, and you aim your phone, your camera at a writing, and it can translate it into from English into Spanish or into other languages, and you can also speak, and it will translate it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Talk about working with multiculturals.
Yeah, sounds great.
WordLens, I have heard.
Hello,
of it.
My name is Greg McDaniel. I'm a real estate agent here in the area. How may I help you?
What language?
Spanish, and then it translates it.
There's Dave Woodson. I did.
It was from English to Spanish.
So you just hand it to him.
Oh, that's.
When I read it too, it'll read it in Spanish too, I'm sure.
Let's see if it will. Prepare to speak. I don't want to speak.
So anyway, I'm going to do a soft intro because I'm going to go back and do post-production on the intro. It's right now. So Greg McDaniels, let me just do something real fast.
Dude, it's got so many languages. I am taking this app everywhere in the world with me from now on. Now I can communicate with the locals.
What?
That is so cool.
What?
And if you want to learn another, let's say you guys wanted to learn another language. You ever heard of Duolingo? It's another free game that teaches you a different language through games. It's supposed to be very effective. Duolingo.
Hey, Greg, I just put your name in here, and it's got Greg McDaniel's Real Estate Team Facebook, and it's got some stars in there. That's something off Facebook. A second popping.
Where are you? Did you put it into the chat?
Greg McDaniel's Real Estate, just on Google where I am. And if you've got your picture on the right side, which is your company, your business, which is good with your dad and your brother. Mm-hmm. And then the second one is Greg McDaniel's Real Estate Team Facebook. You come up and it brings you to your Facebook. What is this? Mm-hmm. It says use app. It doesn't have a like. There's a like. I always like them. And it's got rating down here too. You got 10 reviews.
Is this on Facebook?
On Facebook, yeah.
This is on the McDaniel Callahan team site?
Yeah, or got 10 reviews. Somebody gave you 2 1-star. 2 people give you a 1-star.
Yeah, well, blank
5 stars. I wonder if we could take those out.
I don't even know where you can get ratings.
I didn't. That's the first time I've seen it. Let me drop the link in here.
I know you can do ratings. I just saw ratings.
Look there. Look at that. Wow. That's something new. That's a nice picture. I like your picture on front. That's really nice. I'm going to start working on some of my art, my cover art right away, like today. Got another idea for some of my stuff.
Earl? I don't even know this guy, Earl. He's friends with my father, my aunt, and
That's bizarre.
he's out of Fresno State, so he lives in Visalia. We've never dealt with this guy, so he's
I've never
obviously.
seen anything like that. I've never seen. I didn't know this existed on Facebook.
I just saw reviews the other day.
Something new. Wow,
Yeah.
that's new. They're really getting into stuff.
But look at this. It's all 2013 though. It's all old stuff.
Yeah, but where did this come from?
Look
The
at
first
that.
time you've seen it,
They've
right?
had reviews for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
So that's reviews.
That's why you need something like Melrite.
I do think there's a place, definitely a place for that reputation management.
Right.
And so,
Unfortunately, most real estate agents apparently don't. It looks like.
Well, they need to be doing something about it, don't they?
Yeah. So it's you've got to convince people inch by inch. It's a cinch. So Greg McDonald's a Callahan real estate team.
yeah, no S on the McDaniel.
Greg McDaniel, Callahan real estate team. Okay.
McDaniel Callahan real estate.
Coming from the East Bay, and Jonathan Denwood Carson and Bill Conn. This is going to be a light intro. I'll probably go back and redo it. So a couple seconds of silence, 3 portions. Want to keep it 25 minutes and plenty of blab so we can answer questions. People like to have engagement. Here we go. Welcome to the Real Estate Agent Show, and this is under Timelines, episode 197, and of course, Jonathan's real estate show, which is 031. Always be learning real estate agents, and we're going to be on Blab, YouTube, and podcast. Today we have Greg McDaniel with us from the Callahan real estate team out of the East Bay. He's going to be up quite a bit. He's pretty much cutting edge technology. We've got Jonathan Denwood from the development side of the house, providing products for real estate agents. And I'm Bill Conrad, a broker from California, but live in Reno. So I have to work with my wife, who's a broker in both states. So I'm just doing this backside new media work and helping her out on her SEO and websites. So that's our background. And this will be up in iTunes tonight. It's going up into YouTube right away. And of course, a Blab. So it's kind of fun. It's part of the Timelines, my daily show, and I'm having a blast. Always good to have Greg and Jonathan. And Jonathan and I have a show on the political show on Saturday night on the same feed, Meet the Voter, meetthevoter.com. We also do one of the top rated WordPress shows on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, where after the show, we go up and review your website for free. So without further ado, let's get into the conversation. This is about real estate. So what is happening? We've got a month into 2016, Greg, and what are we doing? I mean, we're into 2016. What should these real estate agents be doing out here right now?
We better be ramping up, man. I got to tell you, I mean, we have a bunch of product we're going to be bringing onto the market. Due to timeline constraints, we are holding off until after Valentine's Day, because the old, thoughts are that men think that, the market comes back after the Super Bowl, which is this weekend. And then women think the market comes back after Valentine's Day. So we want to appease both genders, and we want to come back when everybody wants to go look at homes. So we're expecting a large pickup. We're seeing kind of the momentum take place. The buyers are getting back into the marketplace. We're seeing a lot more hits on our online lead generation systems. We're seeing a lot of referrals starting to flow in again. Oh, excuse me, sound like a 13-year-old boy right there. Overall, we're seeing the market pick up. I'm anticipating a good year this year. We're looking at a number of different systems that we're potentially going to put into our funnel of lead gen that have proven in the tail end of 2015 to be very effective, and then we're going to pull them through 2016. But I'm expecting a good year.
Well, the Fed has said that they're going to raise rates at least 3 times this year. So interest rates, inevitably will be up higher a year from now than they are now.
I hope so.
Which is not necessarily bad.
No, I want it to. That will drive the prices down. We need to see a price decrease in our market at least. Maybe
in the Bay Area, and I don't think the outskirts like in Sacramento and along Central Valley have really felt that tremendous increase like you have in the Bay Area. Yeah. And in Reno, we've had some nice little pops, but we've leveled. But I think it's a good long-term, it's sort of a medium area right now, pretty much turning to a normal market, whatever a normal market is. Mm-hmm. Hey, by the way, what do you think a normal market is? How many days on the market should a house stay?
30 days, 30 to 60 days.
That's short, I think. I think closer to 60 is.
If it sat there, we have less than 1 month of inventory right now. We have a 0.9.
That means it's a seller's market then.
It's a huge seller's market. I mean, the sellers are just beating the snot out of the buyers, and we all knew this was going to take place. It took place last year. I know that you guys have been following the Fed, and they're looking at what, at a 4 to 6%, probably a 4 to 5%, equity growth this next coming year, which is great. I will take that all day long. Give me a 3 to 5% equity growth every year, a nice little smooth tick up instead of like that hockey stick. I'll take the smooth climb all day long.
The other thing too, and this is a side note, we're going to go into technology after the break here, but this is a side note. How do you think the elections, this is bizarre, but how do you think elections affect the real estate market?
Tremendously. Absolutely tremendously, because no matter who the incumbent is, the other side, in this case, Democrats, the incumbent, Republicans, the challenger, both sides do not want to go in and have their candidate look bad. So, the Democrats are sure as heck not going to let the economy tank. They're going to do whatever to artificially inflate it and keep it running because they want to say, look how good the economy is. Our past president here, Barack, has done such a great job. And the Republicans would do the exact same thing. And then once they get in, the markets will then probably have a little bit of a shift and a readjustment. But I'm expecting that. That's what I'm telling people. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to sell now, sell sooner. You know what? Wait for the summer if you really want to, but sell now. There's no inventory. If you're buying, unless you have to, wait. Just take a break because you can always refinance out of a higher rate. You can't refinance out of a higher purchase price.
That's true. We've seen that before when the market went really upside down in 2008 and 9. So that said, I've got a question for next week. We're not going to answer it this week, but for next week for everybody, and Jonathan, and we'll think about this. I might even ask this on a political show. Maybe not. But how do you think, or which candidate would be best for the real estate market and why? Not this show, but for next show, we'll ask that question.
Do we know who the other candidate is?
Which candidates? Well, we know who are out there. There's a handful. It'd probably be about 3 or 4 on the Republican side, and there's 2 on the Democrat side right now.
There's some, no offense, whoever's on the right or left side of anything. The Republican candidates are like a bad reality TV show. It's rough to watch these people, and these are our choices. And the Democrats are the same thing. It's just like it's one lie after another. So who knows? Man, they're going to lie to you no matter what.
Figure out why? Something to think about. We may or may not want to answer that question. It's politics.
That'll spark some energy. That'll get some conversation going.
So we'll maybe get that going on the show next week. With that, we're going to go a quick break. I'm going to try something to break. I want a couple seconds of silence as we go to break. I'm going to leave it recording because Bill has a tendency not to turn the recorder off or on. So, okay, we are on break right now, but we're recording on break. This is something new for YouTube. So going into the next section, what are about 2 or 3 minutes on the break here to figure out what we're going over. So we're going to go over, you dropped them in there, didn't you? Jonathan, I'm going to let you take this over. And so
real quickly on my end, the audio is completely off with our mouths moving. Is that just me?
That's a blab thing.
That's a
okay.
blab.
There's nothing we can do about it. We get good sound though. I'm getting good sound and the pictures there.
Okay.
They're changing stuff every day in Blab and they're doing a great job. I'm really happy with Blab.
Yeah, so am I. I just wanted to make sure my internet wasn't screwing up or something.
No, as long as the voice, the main thing, 99% of I care about sound, and we all have great sound today.
Sometimes it's just, oops, sorry about that.
Jonathan is a little light.
Sometimes it's a sign that the browser's going to, there you go. Is that better, Bill?
Yeah, your sound is better now. It's good for going. So coming in, Jonathan, why don't you paraphrase the 4 different items we're going to go into. I'll do a couple seconds of silence. And I'll just point out, I'm coming back off the break. I'm going to hand over to Jonathan to talk a little tech. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, ready? Coming back off the break, I'm going to hand it over to Jonathan to delve into the tech side. He's looking at 4 different products today. Going to look quick at them and see how they might help your agency or your business. Jonathan, take it away.
Yeah, great. So I thought we'd look at lead generation and looks at for similar but different online products that can help with lead generation. And we got our great special guest that's been on a few times on the show, Craig. So shall we just go into it? Some of these. Shall we start with bold leads? What's your feelings about bold leads?
So bold leads, we started using about 2 to 3 years ago. I can't remember how long it's been. It's been a substantial amount of time. And the amount of leads, we did the recommended amount. We did $250 spend per zip code that we bought. And as soon as I heard about it, we made a snap decision. We bought everything in our area immediately that was available. Our team member, John Jackson, actually was a part of it. He heard about it, I think, through Brian Buffini, and then brought it to us. And right off the bat, I mean, they brought a ton of leads, and a lot of people, couldn't use them. But if you're going to use them, you have to have someone dedicated to follow up with the leads, because you will get inundated faster than you think. And then if you get overrun, like we have 671 leads with all the information in there, plus like 12 or 1,300 people that have partial leads, plus another 2,500 people that just went in and then bounced right back out because like, oh, this is a trap. Not a trap, but this is like a where people enter their information. I just wanted to know, blank information, whatever it was. And we actually recently have just stopped using Bold, not because that their product isn't good, is the fact that we have a substantial amount of leads. We're actually going to take that money and allocate it out into a individual who will be sitting right behind me. And we'll be doing calls back into this because we have about 1,000 to 2,000 leads that we need to call through and nurture. We can't just keep adding to the pool, but they've come a long ways from when we first got to them. They were super rough and kind of down and dirty and gritty. Now they're much more refined. They have better templates. They have coaching attached to it. They have.
Can you go into a bit of what it does and what they offer?
Sure. I mean, what I liked about them when I tried it is it's a seller lead generation system that they get the ads from, I believe, Facebook and or the organic on the web. And what happens is if you, Jonathan or Bill, go in and you type in your address, you see an ad, you're like, get a value, click. You click on it, it takes you to a page, you type in your address, and then takes you to another page, and in the background is a Google Map screenshot, at least it was when I did it, of your home. So you're like, oh my God, that's my house. That's amazing. I want some more information. And then you'll continue to put the information in. And then they have attached to, I think it's not Touch CMA, it's Cloud CMA, that people will then respond to and say, oh my, yeah, I do want some information. They'll give them a Cloud CMA. It's very generic, gives you the opportunity to follow up, be the professional and say, hey, Bill, Jonathan, I understand that you guys got my Cloud CMA. Do you have any questions? And their response is, well, yeah, I was wondering if there was an opportunity I could get a real number. And you're like, oh yeah, absolutely. Let me run a more in-depth report for you. You start building the bond, reputation, rapport, and you move forward from that point. But you have to have the people in line, to do the follow-up. Otherwise,
so to recap the present moment, a good system. I'm going to ask you in a second how much it roughly costs when you were using it actively. But to recap, good system, but you've got to have some systems, some resources in place, like somebody in the office or a virtual assistant. And it's got to be somebody that you don't hire like a week before you start using this, somebody that you can semi-rely on, and you've got to get that kind of set up. Would that be a good summary?
Yeah. Try not to have it be an ISA out of country in our marketplace. And it's not a racist thing comment at all. It's just the way that people are conditioned, because when they hear a foreign accent, they think telemarketer, they're going to be sold. They don't like to be sold. Yeah. So have someone that sounds like you and responding via your team, by email and on voice calls and everything else. You can go to getviral.com. You go scroll over to the bottom. They have a bunch of great follow-up script emails that are free. You can download if you want to do some follow-up. That Frank Clevis, the owner of that company, is a master script writer, and that could really help you if you're kind of struggling on what to send out to them. And also, Viral has templates as well. I mean, not Viral. Bold has templates as well. Yeah.
So roughly, how much? So you get how much does it roughly cost when you were actively using it?
From what I remember, excuse me, is your first zip code is $199 to start, and then I think your other zip codes are either $99 or $199 a month. That's your base fee, right. And then they recommend $250 per zip code of advertising spend. Now, with that, it really depends, how many zip codes you get. It's going to, add on or subtract the amount of leads you're going to get. But they did a good job of the lead flow. Like lately, it's just been raining leads on us.
And the quality, how would you? I know it's difficult, but any insight about what your feelings about the quality of those leads?
They're decent. I mean, they're internet leads. I mean, if you want the magic, the magic ball, I mean, you got to go out there and press the flesh and meet some folks. That's how you're really going to make some quality leads in an immediate time frame. But I mean, overall, if you need to fill a pipeline and if you're on a budget, and you have a good partnership with a lender and everything else, it's a good opportunity to do it. I mean, it's a good place to start. I mean, there's a couple others that I like a little bit more when it comes to the price you spend.
Right. So, Bill, you got a question asked?
Just, how do you convert those leads? You just said something also working with a lender. So how do you convert the leads and work with a lender on this program? It's pretty interesting. So you could test it for a month, I take it.
Yeah, it's pretty much, it's month to month. I mean, I haven't talked to their salespeople in a while, guys.
They're hiring.
Who? Bold?
Go to their page. They're hiring for marketers.
From marketers.
Yeah.
In all honesty, the equity program that I talked about earlier, they partner you with a lender and share the cost. So, if you're going to partner on Bold, then you would just go to a lender and say, hey, look, I want to do this marketing, split it with me so we're, RESPA compliant. And then we can work the leads together, and we can set up a Gmail account that, the leads go to both of us. Just a rule of thumb, I call them first, you call them second, end of story.
I just read that RESPA thing. Basically with the lender now, you can work with a lender, but it has to be some kind of equity sharing or cost sharing. I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it's 50-50. In California, it's 50-50.
Yeah. So I think we discussed that a bit. We can always go back. Let's look at Curator Chris Smith and his partners setup. So it's not something, obviously, you know about them, but it's not something you've actively used yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, no, it's not something that I have looked into. I briefly grazed over it. I'm interested in getting the conversion code, the book, taking a look at it. Hopefully it's on audible.com. I'm an avid book reader / listener because I'm dyslexic. So I'm always listening and reading something.
What's the book? We'll put it up.
The conversion code.
Okay.
Right. Well, I know a fair bit about what their setup is. So shall I go through it and then you can pass a comment on it? Well, they basically manage office. Either agent has got a team or a brokerage, and basically they take over the marketing of that office, and they provide you pay by zip code. They guarantee they won't take on a competitor if you have an exclusive zip code, which is their normal setup, and they supply one highly optimized website. Everybody gets the same website. You rent it off them, and they help you customize it to some extent. They interview you, they customize it. They're strong about their About Us page, about getting across the personality of the agent. And then they also have their own drip marketing system. One of the area where they really specialize in, and one of their main drivers of getting leads, is using Facebook. So I think they start around 1,500, and then they want you, the minimum amount that they expect you to spend on Facebook, which they manage, is $500 a month. So to get in with them, it's $2,000 a month, and you got to sign a year's contract with them. And they've got their own drip marketing system. They also use a third, it's an excellent customer relations system. Mm-hmm. I've got the name of it, but it will come back to me in a minute. They supply that system as part of the package. They supply training. You have a dedicated team member in their organization that you solely talk to. And basically, I think that's the keys to their package. So what's your reaction?
It's a pretty standard product. I mean, Commissions Inc., Conversion, a lot of these guys, they have a pretty standard price point. What they're doing is They're creating a higher opportunity for you to get in contact with respondents. These are not leads. You need to understand that very truly and clearly. These are respondents from an ad. And a lead is what happens when you build the rapport with that prospective individual or couple or whatever else. You know, my opinion is this. Facebook ads are starting to become extremely expensive, especially in our area. I think there's a lot of other opportunities for them to do it cheaper.
I think you're totally correct, but I think it's also the area that you're in. It's a highly competitive area.
It is, but if you can take and do a video about a marketplace and boost that for $5 or $10 a day, do strong call to actions and put that into your business plan, I think that you can, if you're entertaining and you can give good information, what people are looking for, and it's pertinent to the specific marketplace, and it's not spread all over the place. You know, I think that there are opportunities for people to grow at a lower cost. A lot of the agents, when they come into the business or in the business, as you guys know, they close 2 deals a month, 2 deals a year, and make $35,000 a year. Now, a lot of those people do not have that amount of money to do 2,000, but they might have $5, $10 to boost a couple of videos or a couple of photos or something along those lines. There's a lot of free systems out there that you can utilize into Facebook more effectively than using a high cost system, which they're going to give you a lot of chaff. I mean, a lot of BS that's in there. People are just tire kicking and looky-loos. You have to weed through them all. And just like Bold Leads, you're going to have to weed through this stuff. So you're going to have someone on staff or a contractor, a third-party contractor, to weed through this on a monthly, weekly basis, consistently talking, touching, having a conversation with these individuals to build that bond.
Yeah. To be honest, though, I haven't used their system. Bill knows a couple agent brokers that use it, and they're highly satisfied with it. Is that correct, Bill?
I can't think of the agent's name, but Karen knows one person and who uses it, who's a top producer, and he calls it his secret weapon. And he is truly a top producer and doesn't talk about it, that he uses Curator.
Yeah.
So it's very expensive. I mean, it's a very much commitment. You got to be a top producer before you even start using a product like that. Because of the cost.
Well, I think they're kind of competing in the boomtown area. Mm-hmm. What you've heard, Craig, what does roughly Boomtown charges for their services, their packages?
Same typical price, $1,500 to $1,700 for the platform, plus $250 to $500 or more on a spend. Yeah. I mean, they do have a lot of nice bells and whistles in the back. I'm not going to take that away at all. But this is a belly-to-belly, face-to-face business. We were having this discussion yesterday with a couple of agents here in the office, and we're saying, if the market tanked, right? Let's say there was something catastrophic that took place. Who are going to be the cockroaches, the ones that are going to survive the nuclear fallout if something happens again?
I love that, cockroach. With that remark, I think we'll go back and look at the last two, but we're going to have a break now, and we'll come back and look at the two other product services that we're going to discuss.
Okay, that's good. When I go like this, a couple of seconds of silence really speeds up my editing. So I'll just go like this for edit sound, and I'm going to leave it recording right now. So we'll do another break before we start back up. So let's hit the last two and then finish up for the podcast, and then stay on for YouTube. And we'll mention that. That was a good transition on that break. So we got two more left, right?
Yeah. Conversion and SmartSit.
You did find some interesting stuff. That first one, that Bold Lead, I thought that was kind of crazy. So you dropped that, huh, Greg? On Bold Lead?
Yeah, well, we dropped it just because we're not going to be using them anymore. We're just going to be doing the equity. Bold Lead is actually an offshoot from Prime Seller Leads. The people who started Bold worked at Prime Seller Leads. They took what Prime Seller is doing and did a cheaper, dirtier version of it with Bold.
When we go to the YouTube version, I might go into more detail, and that'll drive people to go to websites and then go to the YouTube.
So just to clarify, you're using equity. So basically, you're not against these. You're just utilizing one, which is equity at the present moment.
Yeah. I'm not against any of them. That's why we spent like nearly $40,000 with Bold Leads.
That's a lot of money. Hey, we might want to mention that. Hey, let me come off the break. I'll bring you off the break, turn back to Jonathan. We have two more products we're going to look at. That'll be the end of the podcast, but we want to stay on for YouTube where we can have more casual conversation and bring some of our viewers in. So here we go. So we're coming back off the break. We've got 2 more products we want to look at in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and then it'll be into the podcast. But for those viewers, stay on. We're going to open it up for your questions and answers on Blab. And of course, this will be recorded on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube, any one of the websites at mailright.com, or you can go to timelinesofsuccess.com, episode 197 and 031. So go ahead, Jonathan, pick up the last 2 and we'll finish up the podcast.
So, Craig, I was shown conversion a couple of weeks ago. Agent I was talking to showed me it online, and I was quite impressed with this. Starts at around $160. They had done a 50-50 split with a mortgage broker. I was really quite impressed. So have you used this system, and do you know about it?
On conversion?
Yeah.
We have not used it. We have used a couple of others, but not this one. I was, like I said, there's so many of these guys out there. I was perusing their testimonials. The people that have used it all seem to be very, very pleased with it. They're having good, conversion.
Do you want me to tell you how it works?
Love it. Yeah. Knowledge is power. I love that.
Yeah. So I was, like I say, I was given a quick demo of it, about 15 minutes. I haven't approached them. I'm going to see if I can get them on the show, because I was even though it's a different product to my own, different price point. So what they basically do is they provide a website. It's IDX. It's a very modern design, but then you got to work it like all these systems. They're not a magic bullet. What the agent I was speaking to was that they supply their IDX search is superior than maybe some other services. So you take a property that you're selling, and they give you some guidance, and they suggest that you use Facebook discussion groups. And this actual agent was posting quite a few of these in discussion groups, probably been kicked out, but she was also doing them quite light-hearted, and it wasn't a real kind of right in your face sell. It was more like, we got this property, and she made a kind of remark about, she tried to keep it light-hearted. She got really good results. So they get sent to this website, and it's got really fantastic capture. It's a bit like what you were talking about, one of the other systems. It kind of sucks you in, and then it asks for more personal details the longer you stay on the site. Mm-hmm. It's got some really nice features, a bit like Craigslist. If you wanted to put an advert on Craigslist, you click a button on the IDX property, it sucks all the details and it builds the advert for you, and then it will automatically place it on various Craigslist accounts. It can do that with eBay, other kind of similar sites. And she demoed it. She took one click of IDX property, and it literally in 30 seconds it made the Craigslist advert, and then it placed it on Craigslist for her. I thought that was quite nifty, and it offers nothing that's jet science, but it was just the quality of the design, the functionality. You could tell that the people that built it understood real estate and spent quite a bit of money on it.
Is it similar to like Postlets when it comes to posting on Craigslist and other advertising portals?
I don't know, because I've never looked at that other one, but the 2 adverts that she did in front of me seemed pretty good. Obviously, they don't allow you now to post actual URL. Well, it can't be a link, can it? You can post a URL, but it can't be a live URL link. So you can still do that. They just have to copy it and then paste it into their address bar. It can't be a live link. They've stopped that. And it's a bit like Facebook. If you spend a little bit of money, also, I think you get treated a little bit better by Craigslist. So It was just a really, really slick system. I don't think, like I say, it's jet science, but the way it worked, but you got to work it. Like I say, they were using Facebook a lot because the agent that was showing me this were based in Phoenix, in Arizona. So it's pretty hot market, but it's nothing like as hot as where you are. So, but they weren't spending on Facebook advertisement; they were using discussion groups.
Okay. Well, I mean, what's their pricing on this? Because we talked about about $2,000 for our last one, the conversion code.
It's well, they were paying $80, and the mortgage broker was paying $80. So it was the package. Normally, the starter package is $160 a month.
Mm-hmm. And that generated about how many leads?
Well, it was a wife-husband team. They're both experienced. They just moved into Phoenix about 18 months ago. They really didn't know a lot of people there. Their broker actually suggested that they should start using it. Their broker doesn't help them pay for it, but they did recommend it to them, and it's been the main tool that they've been utilising. And she said she kind of been doing a bit like Bill and his wife. She had become mostly concentrating on getting the leads by utilising this tool, and her husband did the actual belly to belly kind of side of their business. And that's how they were splitting it up. So I thought it was quite interesting, and I was impressed with it. Obviously, I only got a 15, 20-minute look at it, so I would really have to test it out more substantially. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. That's the great part about all these different systems that you've brought to us. They all are for different, temperaments, price points, marketplaces. And that's the good part. People can go out there and select what works for them and then, utilize it. But as long as they do the follow-up on the respondents generated to the site, to their inbox, that's the critical part that, people have got to take into.
What I didn't ask her was, did she get, was it based on zip codes? I got the feeling it wasn't. I think they share it with a group, I don't think there's any limit on the amount of agents that can, for that $160 can actually get that data. Mm-hmm. I didn't ask her that question before. I should have tried to find that out before the show, but I ran out of time.
Okay, Jonathan, let's go into the last product. Yeah. Probably try to get too many products on this episode because we'll be up next week on Thursday, every time 9:00 Pacific. So last question, and we'll finish up the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure. So let's talk about SmartZip. So you've used it and you've got some experience of them. What's your feelings?
I despise SmartZip. I absolutely abhor them, and I've never used them. They actually are a complete fraud, and I encourage anyone who is using them to call me, and I will give you all the information. My cell phone's 925-915-1978. They're complete frauds. And this is why I say this, is that they claim they own an algorithm, which they do not own. My family owns the algorithm. We're the ones that invented it. This whole predictive analytics BS that they say they have, they don't have it. And if they say they do, they're lying to you. Yeah, they have some nice shiny gadgets and everything. Yeah. But if you want to see where it really came from, go to realagile.com and you can see the origin of the predictive analytics. Yeah. So, they're high. They say they have high conversion rates or high, turnover rates. Dude, no, they don't. They're taking a super small area and looking at a number of homes that sold, and they give you an astronomical, high turnover rate, which is not accurate or correct. Now, I discourage anybody to use them ever. And if you're using them, cancel.
Well, you made your feelings quite clear. I wanted to give a couple quick details, and because we've covered a lot of stuff, but we need to get to the end of the show. So basically, they've caused a bit of controversialism recently because they offered unique zip codes, and suddenly they changed their policy about 2 months ago. And they said that they couldn't offer, you bought a zip code and you just got the leads generated in that zip code area. They're no longer offering that guarantee anymore. It's going to be supplied. They haven't made clear how many agents they're going to be supplying that data. Actually, I had a feeling, and to be honest, folks, it was before I spoke to Craig about this. Obviously, he's got some strong feelings about it, and he's a really honest guy, and I listened to him. But funny enough, I had a bad feeling about it before you even said anything, because I've been involved in website development and online marketing for quite a while now. And when I was reading their marketing spiel, it didn't add up, basically. But they have got a group of agents that say, and I spoke to 2 agents, both funny enough are on the East Coast, and one was in New York, and he actually wrote an article on Ingman saying he was a bit upset by the change of their policy. And I had an exchange of emails with him, and he said he did get results from it. But I'm not sure, everything you said about it was, I just got this feeling about it. And they have recently upset quite a few people with their high-handed way that they've treated people. And that's about what I can say. What, got any feelings, Bill?
I don't know if I'm going to put a disclosure at the front of this net podcast. You do not represent the bill.
Yeah, we don't represent those views at all, do we, Bill?
I don't know what kind of relationship you have with them, Greg, but that's really interesting, I can say. We could say amazing. Remember to say amazing.
Amazing.
There's some real estate professionals used to say amazing. That was, who's the guy that gave away pumpkins like 100 years ago?
Well, I thought you were going to say something, but I didn't think you were going to be that scathing.
Amazing. What was the guy's name? Oh, Hopkins. Amazing. No, Hopkins. Was that for
Tommy
great
Hopkins?
Tommy Hopkins?
Yeah, Tommy Hopkins.
He's ancient now. He's around. I watched him like when I first learned real estate.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, with that, let's everyone stay on. A couple seconds of silence. We're going to go to a blab. Of course, this will be up on a podcast today. It'll be up in show notes, and you can go to wp-tonic.com or, excuse me, you could go to there, but you're going to find the WordPress stuff. Go to mailright.com or timelinesofsuccess.com. Greg, why don't you shoot out what's your best website to go to?
You guys can go to McDanielCallahan.com. That's our real estate team. If you want to call us, 925-838-4300. That's the best ways to get a hold of us.
And folks, we're looking for guests. So if you have a guest you want to come on every Thursday, we'll be on. I'm going to do a specific link just for this show. Greg, would love to have you on often with our guests to analyze and look at the different shows.
Sure.
I do want to keep this to about 25 minutes. Hey, let's stay on the line. We'll open it up because we have some people waiting to come in to say hi, and we'll go into the YouTube portion. So quiet for a second. Okay, let's go to the YouTube portion. We got interesting. Dave, you want to come up and say what's up? Anything up? Any questions?
See,
Post this out.
I think generally looking at these 4 apart from Curator, which are basically they're taking over a substantial amount of what the agent does on online marketing, and very to some extent similar to Boomtown. I think they all can provide, apart from SmartZip. I think like Bold Leads and the company that you're utilising and Conversion, they can provide leads, but like I say, they're not a magic bullet. It's up to you to turn. Well, they're not exactly leads either. They're kind of introductions on, and it's up to you to turn that into something concrete. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they're respondents. I mean, they're responding to an ad. That's it. I mean, and then you have to convert them to make them into a lead.
Yeah.
You have to nurture them consistently.
Yep, certainly do. Hello, Dave.
Hey guys,
Hey, good to
how's it
see you.
going?
Looking good.
You looking
You're
good?
I try.
I like that whiteboard.
Yeah.
Yes, I haven't changed it in a while. It's artwork for my daughter.
So, what's your thoughts about what we the 4 programs services that we discussed?
My company uses Commission Inc. which is very much like Curator, Coon, I think Coon version, Boomtown. They're all kind of the same ilk, I do believe. Right? I mean, right? I can't even. I can call you McDaniel, but I can't. What's your first name? Is it Ryan?
No, Greg.
Greg. Sorry.
And your dad's Craig, right?
No, my dad's Terry.
Who's Craig?
No, Greg. Oh, I'm Greg, and then my father's Terry.
Okay,
sorry about that. I had Ryan in my head. I apologize.
No worries.
I'm sure you've been called worse.
Oh, I've been called a lot worse. I'll go with Ryan.
Go with Susie if you want to call him that.
we use Commissions Inc., but we and I like it. And Jonathan, I've learned the hack. I use the discussion groups and stuff for it like that. And I can pop it in and get about 100 leads in about an hour or a couple hours, or over the weekend at least. And but my question is, the first one you talked about was
Bold leads. And you
said they're an offshoot or a competitor to Prime Seller Leads. I got Prime Seller Leads now. So which one's better, do you think, Bold or Prime?
Prime Seller Leads. They're much more interactive in the back end. As you know, their back end system is very conducive. I mean, well, not so conducive to when you first get into there, but once you go to the tutorial and you really understand what they can do for you. And if you're at the concierge level, the $2.99 a month or whatever it is, and they're checking your ad every single day, optimizing it, and then helping put the people through your funnel. It's more effective than the Bold back end right now. I mean, Bold is getting better and better every time they're updating their software and their systems and everything else. But Bold is a more powerful. I mean, Prime is a more robust back end.
Okay,
in my opinion.
So you're saying get over yourself and let them run your ad for you.
Absolutely, man. You're not paid to run ads. You're paid to go out and list properties, show buyers, write contracts, and get things closed. Okay. I mean, it's not if we wanted to do IT and tech, we'd be in a different business. I mean, if it's something that you love to do and it's a hobby, that's great. Do it in the evenings, but then you take away time from your family and your hobbies. Let a professional do it. It's a few extra bucks. They have the systems and everything set up, and then just get the leads and with the respondents, and then go out and make some money, man.
Okay. So prime leads compared. So what price point do they start from?
Go ahead.
They're like $79 or something. Then they go to $149. Then they go to $299. It's in that ballpark.
You're right there. You're right there with it. I mean, I had them pulled up. I think I'm paying $60 a month for the base price. Then it goes to $149, then $299, and I think there's a $500 level.
What is it?
The $500 level, you lock out your competitors. No one.
Oh, right. All right. No. So, what is it? Is it Facebook or Google paid AdWords?
I believe it's just Facebook. I believe.
Yeah, it's Facebook. It's also they do some stuff. I think it's on the open web, just like doing SEO stuff. I mean, just Google pay per click. I believe so. Because when it comes through, I see some of them like not Facebook and other lead sources. But I mean, another good one to talk about is Real Geeks out of Hawaii. They're a nice little system. They're the only program out there that I've found that what their little trick is. I mean, Commissions Inc. and Real Geeks. The real cool thing is that you're not going to get a lot of fake numbers if you use Real Geeks as well, because their whole gig is that the password for the person's account is their telephone number. That's the one thing I really like about it, so that you don't get 123-555-1212 as a phone number. So yeah, that's either one of those systems. But at the end of the day, no matter what, Dave, if you were going to be, it's like we all know, it's a belly to belly, face to face type of a business. Just get out and do a pop by, do a drop off, do something, and get in touch with them. That's going to be your moneymaker.
So you so on your actual database side of things, you're also using Viral, aren't you, to keep in contact with your existing database and the people that you got, can recognize you. I don't know who you put. Have you got just kind of one large database and what I call people that could, if they saw you in the street, they could recognize your face? That's how I put it to people. Is that who you're utilizing Viral to try and keep some relationship going?
So I use Viral, VYRAL or viral.com. And I really enjoy them. They're really good. Every 2 weeks, I record every Friday with my coach, Lindsay, and we come up with new videos. I just give them the raw video. They edit it. They create a blog for me. They transcribe it. They get video, audio testimonials for me. They stay up with me, stay with all my clients, give me click-through rates of who clicked through and what the responses were on the back end. But I mean, I use it for everybody. I even use it for other agents, so the agents know what I'm doing out there. Because, even if they do decide to use Viral, they're probably not, because Viral is $2,000 to start and then $525 a month. It's not a cheap program, but it is.
How much is it?
$2,000 to start and then $525 a month for them to do everything for you. And they'll do 2 email blasts a month, which is plenty fine.
Yeah.
The other company that I use is called homeactions.net. And that's a written newsletter that goes out that gets a lot of good reaction as well. A lot of good back end on that. I think it's like $400 for the year for homeactions.net. And it gives us, at the all these different articles, nationally about what's going on. Then the very last one is like, what are some local hotspots that's happening in your neck of the woods, this coming weekend, which gets a lot of clicks, and people really do enjoy, reading that.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, so basically, you've got your program to generate your leads, and then you've got Viral, which you're using as a kind of information, keeping in touch, keep your face in front of all like agents, people that know you've done business with you, all the things that might not be directly looking, but they could be a good referral resource. Would that be correct?
Yeah, a lot. What we've found, we grew our business 23% last year in growth. And we did it predominantly from outbound cold calling, my business partner, Chris, doing his cycling and networking, my father, Terry, doing his networking, past client referrals. And then, so I'm more of the outbound. I like to do more of the outbound on the calls. I've done over 80,000 cold calls myself using Mojo Dialer, which is highly effective. And we get to log the time in the seat to do it. So passively, that's not going to be your one, but that's where we've gotten it from. But we do know that we need to do some sort of online presence, and that's where we come in with these other lead generation systems like Equity with 2Qs, Viral, and Home Actions.
So with Equity, so you got kind of like the cheaper like bold leads, and then you got the real one, prime leads. And but how would you kind of classify Equity? Is it a kind of middle product between bold leads and prime leads, or? So
what Equity does, and there's a link in the show notes to it that I put in there. So scroll up and you guys will get it. Equity with 2 Qs, and it's $199 for the agent, $199 for the lender. We pair them up so that the lender, as a good agent that they can build a relationship with, the agent has a good lender that they can work with. They form a team, and then they each pay $199 a month, and they'll get anywhere from 5 to 10 leads that are pretty well qualified, better than I found at some of the other systems.
Where are they getting these leads from? Do you know?
Online.
Yeah, online through Facebook and Google AdWords.
Yeah, through a myriad of different ways, but the leads that come through are, for the most part, better quality than what we've seen out there elsewhere.
And what do they match up the mortgage broker with you, or you got to do that?
They can in certain marketplaces. They're in beta on that. They're expanding out. It's something it's really pretty interesting and fun. Because a lot of times what agents don't have when they come into the business, they don't have money and they don't have leads. So if you can spend $199 a month, get 5 to 10 leads, basically about 5 to 8 leads, and have a partner that's paired with you that's good in the industry for lending, you're coming out of the chutes pretty fast, with some good leads. It's also sustainable. Instead of all these other lead generation companies that have, we'll give you 40 leads, we'll give you 100 leads. Dude, what are you going to do with that many leads, honestly?
Yeah.
Why don't we give you a smaller amount? Because the compound effect is going to take place extremely quickly. 3 months in, let's say they're giving you 5 solid leads. That's 15 active buyers. That's a full-time job.
Yeah, I think doing some activity and some marketing expenditure yourself, and then looking at them might be a better policy than spending a load of money on Zillow. But people have got to make their own choices, haven't they?
Well, with Zillow, I mean, everybody goes to it because it's the big, shiny 8,000-pound gorilla in the room. But is 8,000-pound gorilla the best fit for your business plan? I mean, if they're going to ask you for $800 or whatever the amount is, a month, that's not going to be the best spent money. If you're going to spend, I have a friend of mine, she's a lender. She spends $5,000 a month, and then her real estate team that she works with spends $5,000 a month. And they crush it. They do like 10 to 14 deals a month with this stuff in like $1 million plus neighborhoods. It's worth it for that, right? But if you're just going to dip your toe in the pool and see how the water is, maybe use that $600 to $800 maybe potentially in a different place. That's just my personal opinion, but everyone's got their own.
Yeah, everybody's got to find their own road, haven't they?
Oh, absolutely.
And different areas respond to different systems, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, like in your area, because you're in the Bay Area, Zillow or Facebook paid advertisement or Google paid AdWords is going to be extremely expensive, isn't it?
Extremely expensive. I mean, you can.
Which is fine if it's real quality, if it converts to a very high level. But what I think you're saying is it's really expensive, but the actual quality of turning that into a real commission don't match up. I think that's what you're really saying, isn't it?
Yeah, from what I've experienced, yes.
Yeah.
But again, it's different in every marketplace.
Yes. It's so in Reno. To do effective paid for Facebook advertisement is nothing like what it would be in the Bay Area or Los Angeles or but my experience with Google the other thing is it's a mixture of Google AdWords, Facebook, and then placement advertisement. They track through a pixel. They basically track you over the internet and they repurpose the adverts. So they're the three main mechanisms that online marketers are going to generate leads for you to some extent. Mm-hmm. So, but the viral. So, do you think how long have you been utilizing viral?
Oh, viral. 2-3 years at this point.
Right.
I mean, I highly endorse viral. I mean, go take a look at them. I mean, they got a high end production over there, and I actually got to go to Tahoe on Tuesday and meet with Frank Klevitz and Matt Johnson. Frank's the owner and master copywriter with them, and he some of the just written emails that he sent out for us on behalf has gotten responses like that from the marketplace. People just going, "Hey, I got your email. Yeah, I am interested in selling my home. Yeah, I am interested in this." And they've done an amazing job. And I just see better and better things. Like I was talking with him when I was up there, and he's like, "Greg, how's your conversion?" And we were going over a couple of things that I'm working on. And one of the issues came up, and the fact that he's like, "Hey, go to towerdata.com. and you can append phone numbers to email addresses or vice versa." Which is really pretty interesting because that's my biggest thing. I need more phone numbers attached to my database. So towerdata.com is a really good resource. Or go to Cole Realty resource and buy areas there, but you're buying them in zip codes on that one. I like Cole because you can buy cell phone numbers as well if you choose to do that, to do circle prospecting into marketplaces.
Tower Data. I was trying to find that. I couldn't find it right now. I just did a search.
Tower Data?
Data.com. Let's see. Tower, TOWER.
Yeah.
ATA.com.
I got it right here.
Drop it in the link because it didn't, for some reason, it's not popping.
Yes. Right. So I think I've got to go off now. Craig, if I put this Zoom link into the chat room, do you see it?
Yes.
So if you click on that, we can have our Zoom chat. Oh, right? How does that sound?
How long do we need? I have a very tight constraint on time at this moment. I got about a 30-minute drive out.
That'd be fine. I'm looking at 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did have one quick question.
Yep.
Just a thought. And look at this. Here I am. I've got pretty good technology. A lot of time in design, build, construction, real estate brokers, and all stuff. I'm trying to get Karen up and running, and I'm trying to get her more into social media. But I'm also thinking there might be a way I can get somebody. I'm a broker in California, so I can go up to Truckee and get someone to help them up there in geographical different locations, because I could sort of help and manage people and get them going with some of these tools. Because a real estate agent really should be out there face-to-face, belly-to-belly. Somebody should be feeding them, working. I'm big into teams. I always believed in the team concept. So
teams are huge.
Do you have someone behind you, Greg, on the team, like pushing you, doing all this administrative stuff? So you're not.
Oh God, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I have. Well, she's not here today, but Eileen Landon. She sits right over here. I refer to her as my steel trap. Once something comes in, it doesn't leave her head.
Yeah.
And she keeps all of us running. She keeps Terry on point. She keeps Chris on point. She keeps me on point. And that's really important to have that. I could not do what I do without her.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
See, I don't know what Karen does from day to day, too. That's another thing, too. I'm trying to get, so I work with a couple of people, maybe I could help manage them and see how they all fit, because it's always a challenge. I've worked with Karen for a long time, but in different ways. We've sort of been independent, but we've had somebody supporting both of us usually. So anyway, just a thought. Next week, same time, same place. Also, I'll put a link where you can invite people. And Jonathan, good research. Nice perspective. I've watched Jonathan evolve over the year. He brings an interesting perspective to real estate, sort of an outside perspective with the new technologies coming in.
Oh, thanks, Bill. Craig, I thought it was a great show, and I think we covered some great stuff, didn't we?
I just told Karen to listen to this blab. I just went upstairs and hit her, said, listen to this. So I just listened to one of Greg's podcasts. That's why you listen to the live thing here, she says she's going to come on my show next week. Finally, I'm at episode 200. So we'll get her on.
Good.
And we've got our SEO going. Well, you guys have a nice Zoom. I'm going to stay up for a couple seconds and close out the show.
See you later.
Okay, so we'll just close this thing out, and then I'll switch over to Zoom for you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. So anyway, that was our first shot at, I do a daily show and have a lot of time in real estate. And we're looking at doing a separate show. We're going to put a separate RSS feed for the real estates, but you can also find them at Timelines of Success, episode 197, then Jonathan's show. Jonathan, started developing products as a programmer for real estate about a year ago. And I saw him go from really knowing nothing from an outside perspective to looking at the industry. I come with about 25 years of background. So it's really interesting to see it. And I am looking for folks up in the Truckee area to work with in real estate. I've been working with my wife down in Reno, and maybe on in the California city side of the lake too. So I think breaking it up, I think we can try to manage and figure out what the best ways to develop real estate. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and finish up. We'll be on next week in real estate. We're on every day. So we'll get our mail list going. Thanks. Take care.